Well, good afternoon, everyone. As you know, we have S1 on the floor. This is a bill that I think is important. It reinforces our support for Israel, Jordan, and some of the provides an opportunity, excuse me, provides an opportunity for some of those who've been victimized by the atrocities in Syria to get some kind of relief. It also deals with the boycotts that have been implemented against Israel. And I'm glad that we were finally able to get on it. As you know, we were kept from getting on this during the shutdown, which is quite different from what has happened during previous shutdowns. We continue to do business. Nevertheless, we're now on the bill. We'll be voting to proceed to it later today and working our way through an amendment process to get it across the finish line.
As the leader pointed out, we had 3 different times we could have gotten on that bill, which was blocked by Democrats. But I'm hoping that now that the government has reopened, that the Democrats will honor their commitment. We hope that they will operate in good faith and sit down and get serious about negotiating a solution to our border to make sure that we've got good border security measures in place. I guess the Democrats who have been blocking that all along, we know are mostly the leadership. We think there are members in the rank and file Democrats, both in the House and the Senate, who are open to an agreement, and hopefully the people who are going to be sitting at that conference table will be able to fashion one that will ensure that we can keep our government open, but also address what is a very serious crisis at our southern border. In the meantime, as the leader pointed out, we'll be on S1, an important piece of legislation, work that I think the American people care deeply about, and that is strengthening our relationship with our allies in the Middle East, namely Israel, but also holding those who have been accountable for the atrocities in the Assad regime, holding those people accountable. So it's a good package of bills that a lot of our members have been involved in putting together, should enjoy broad bipartisan support, and I look forward later in this week to supporting its eventual passage.
Well, one of the stories that has taken a back seat during the shutdown has been that about how strong our economy is. The economy right now is firing on all cylinders, and it's been fueled by the tax cuts and the regulatory relief passed by Republicans. 2.6 million new jobs have been created in the years since we passed tax relief. The numbers are astonishing, and people are also seeing more money in their paychecks, more money in their pocketbooks, more money in their wallets, because they're seeing higher wages and lower taxes. The number of jobs being created is actually more than there are people available to fill those jobs, so wages are going up. Additionally, last month, the number of people applying for unemployment benefits is at a 50-year low. I mean, think about that. The year that man first walked on the moon, it had not been as low since that in 50 years. That's how strong this economy is. Republicans are continuing to work for ways to strengthen the economy, more good-paying jobs. At the same time, you hear the Democrats talking. They want to do things to put on the brakes on the economy. They want to raise taxes. They want to reinforce and put into place new regulations. All of those things are going to hurt what we've been doing with jobs and our focus on jobs, the economy, paychecks, and prosperity.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you, Chairman, very much. Today, I would like to visit a little bit about the bill that we have in front of us on the floor of the Senate. As a combat veteran and as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, I am very much excited about the opportunity to pass S1, which will allow us to place additional sanctions against the Assad regime and those that are bolstering and providing support for the heinous actions that they have committed against the civilian population of Syria. So we do want to make sure that we are also communicating to our allies in the Middle East that we will be there for them. We are at a critical point in Syria. So in addition to S1, we will have amendments that we will be looking at. One that I will be supporting is one that the leader will be putting forward, and that is one that allows us to take a look at the situation on the ground in Syria and make sure that through an enduring effort we have defeated ISIS and al-Qaeda in the region before we completely withdraw American troops. So again, going back and reassuring our allies that we are committed not only to the region, but to their efforts as well. So I'm excited about this opportunity, again, strengthening our resolve in the Middle East, doing the right thing by making sure we are defeating ISIS and ridding the world of Al-Qaeda. So thank you. I appreciate the time this afternoon.
Well, my colleagues and I know we're all encouraged that the government is fully funded and operational right now, and a compromise was reached, at least in the near term. Folks back home in Indiana want us to make sure we not only continue to keep the government funded, but that we secure our border. And this is an issue that's been of great importance to me for some time, as I shared with a number of you a couple of weeks ago. In the 90s, I was serving in the Yuma, Arizona area. I was dispatched there as a United States Marine, and border security was a problem way back then. Border security can be accomplished not just through putting boots on the ground, not just through investments in technology, but also by investing in physical barriers. So it's just my hope that as my Republican colleagues try to work with Democrats on this issue, Democrats understand that a physical barrier it has always traditionally been and should, on a going forward basis, continue to be part of that border security mix. Thank you.
Mr. Leader McConnell. Mr. Leader, would you support legislation to end shutdowns once and for all?
Well, to modify one of my quotes that usually brings a smile to your face, there certainly would be no education in the third kick of a mule. I don't like shutdowns. I don't think they work for anybody, and I hope they'll be avoided. I'd be open to anything that we could agree on a bipartisan basis that would make them pretty hard to occur again. There's some differences about how to craft that, but I'm certainly open to it. I think this is an example of government dysfunction, which is should be embarrassing to everyone on a bipartisan basis.
Mr. McConnell, you're a longtime appropriator. What is the right scope for this conference committee? We've had other people talk about immigration, DACA, debt ceiling. Would you be okay if they can forge an agreement and it wanders off into those other areas, or you want to keep it just strictly to border security?
I'm for whatever works, which means avoiding a shutdown and avoiding the president feeling he should declare a national emergency. Exactly how to do that, as you all know, has been quite challenging.
So that sounds like broader scope.
I'm for narrow or broader. I'm for whatever works that prevents the level of dysfunction we've seen on full display here the last month, and also doesn't bring about a view on the president's part that he needs to declare a national emergency. To predict going in exactly what that is impossible.
Mr. Leader, would you support the president's top intelligence advisors testified today, contradicted the president's views on Iran, ISIS, North Korea? Does it trouble you that the president appears to be so out of step with his own advisors when it comes to foreign threats?
I didn't really follow the testimony, so I don't have any observation.
Mr. Leader, amendment that you just introduced on Afghanistan.
I do believe in the amendment that I just introduced, and think that that's an important place for America to be positioned.
Do you have any thoughts on the legislation that Senator Grassley has introduced with Senator Blumenthal that would require public disclosure and disclosure to Congress of the results of the Mueller probe and future special counsel probes?
Yeah, you have the additional complication that the next Attorney General testified to as to what the department regulations are. Obviously, I would like for as much as possible of the Mueller report to be open. I don't know enough about Justice Department regulations to know what part of that, might make sense not to be disclosed. So, but let me just say, I think it ought to be as fully open and transparent, whatever the recommendation is, as possible.
Mr.